What is up, YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 17 Backtrack Battles. Today we are still using this team that was created by my boy Nate. Go give him a follow if you haven't already. But we are using a pledge team with Tapu Lele, Primarina, Decidueye, Mimikyu, Snorlax, and Arcanine. So let's just get started. And yeah. Tell me what you think about the new headset. I've been using the new headset for a couple of days, and I think, to be honest, I might prefer my old mic. I mean, this makes it easier for me to record in a college dorm room in case my roommates come by or are talking and other people are talking, because the fact that the headset just picks up my voice mainly. So that's something that's really convenient, of course, when compared to my other mic, which is my Snowball. I used to use my Yeti, but then I started having audio trouble, so I started using my Snowball. But yeah, people couldn't hear me because of Yeti, so I used the Snowball. But the Snowball picks up a lot of things. It picks up pretty much anything around the area. So it's more convenient to hear my voice, which I feel like, but I feel like it's better quality on the Snowball. So tell me what you think, if it doesn't matter either way, if you just enjoy the content and the voice difference isn't really too much, because I do notice there's a difference. But I will definitely be using the headset for streaming. Definitely for streaming. I also got to figure out how to make the audio work, because, yeah, the audio quality isn't great, listening-wise. It's just not that great. But hopefully we can find a battle soon, as, yeah, I mean, right now, I'm kind of tired. I kind of want to go to lunch, but I decided to get my free time to play this game. We got Taito from Spain, 1490 rating. Very interesting team of the Araquanid, Garchomp, Arcanine, Tapu Koko, the Porygon 2, and the Celesteela. So, not exactly sure what my opponent wants to do here. Let's see. Do I want to go Pledges? Pledges is okay against, like, some of my opponent's team, but of course my opponent can't set up Trick Room, so it's kind of annoying. I don't know exactly what I want to do here. Mimikyu, Snorlax. Actually, Mimikyu Snorlax is very solid in this matchup if I can handle that Celesteela right away. So I might want to ban into Pledge route and decide to go for the Snorlax Mimikyu route, because Snorlax Mimikyu seems very solid against my opponent's team if I play my cards right. So I think I want to go. What do I want to go here? I think I want to go Mimikyu Snorlax as the lead, because it's pretty much a free, easy Trick Room for me. I think Arcanine for that Celesteela. And Tapu Lele can help get rid of Terrain, which would be nice. It also hits my opponent's team for a lot of damage. But so does Primarina, and Primarina under Trick Room seems pretty good, because Primarina under Trick Room looks like to be a sweeper, to be honest. So I think I'll go Primarina as my last Pokemon, but we'll see here what my opponent decides to bring here, as I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure Porygon 2 is going to come, because Trick Room is pretty good against my team. Maybe a Tapu Koko Porygon 2 lead. I still don't know what to expect from that. We could see Tapu Koko Arcanine like we did either in the last video or 2 videos ago. I don't exactly remember the order of the battles I've been doing. So let's see here. It's going to be Mimikyu Snorlax leading here against the, what is it? I could just protect, or I could belly drum Trick Room depending on it. Celesteela Arcanine. So this is okay here, because I can just get a Trick Room and a belly drum up. It depends on the set though. Of course there is Roar. My Mimikyu is like bulky enough to be able to survive a Heavy Slam, which is really convenient. Bandit Close Combat is going to hurt Snorlax, but I don't think it should pick up the knockout by any means necessary. So yeah, I'm just going to go for a belly drum here and a... Yeah, I'm just going to belly drum and Trick Room right here, because no matter what, even if you double up the Mimikyu, unless you get a burn, Mimikyu should still survive the turn. And even if you get the burn, unless you crit Heavy Slam, I'm able to get the Trick Room up guaranteed. So I'll take the damage on Mimikyu here. It doesn't really matter to me too much, as Leechy's actually going to come out. So my opponent just wanted to get rid of Disguise, but not weakening the Trick Room user, because that allows me to get Trick Room up later in the game potentially if I play my cards right. So basically right here I am able to get a free belly drum up with my Snorlax. Well, not free, because I'm going to be taking Leech Seed, which is going to be annoying every turn, but I do get the Trick Room up, which is very good against my opponent's team. And now, I don't know, there are still some factors that are going to be annoying. This Leech Seed is definitely going to be annoying of a factor here. I think I want to go out into my Arcanine here. Yeah, I want to go into Arcanine because I want to intimidate the Celesteela. I'm actually going to play a bit of a defensive game. In case Arcanine decides to protect here, I get a free Recycle off. And I do want to get the Recycle off because the fact that a Rockrunnit could be annoying later in the game. Like, what I'm trying to do here is get the Intimidate off, threaten the Celesteela, get a free switch in. to my Arcanine, which, you know, threatens to knock out on Celesteela. Of course, I'm probably going to switch out Arcanine actually to save the Intimidate for the Araquanid, because Snorlax could be really good here. As Arcanine's going to withdraw actually hard into Araquanid. I wish I went for the return there. If I went for the return there, it would have been an amazing turn, but instead I go for the Recycle, which isn't too good for me actually. But I don't know what my opponent's going to do. Heavy Slam's going to come out, probably targeting down the Arcanine. Yep, okay. So not too bad, not too bad, but it's not the most ideal turn I could have asked for. Like, if I just knocked out the Araquanid here, I'm surprised my opponent would ever risk the Araquanid, but maybe expecting Recycle from me. Yeah, I'm just going to go on a Primarina here and Protect here because I do want to save the Intimidate. Liquidation, I can take it easily. I also want to see if my opponent is going to go for the Z move right away. And I don't expect a Heavy Slam into the... Well, I don't expect a Heavy Slam in the Arcanine slot. So I'm going to Protect here. I'm pretty sure it's a Liquidation coming out here, or maybe Hydro Vortex. It's going to be Liquidation, going to be targeting on my Primarina, which is fine. Even though I'm losing a few turns, wow, that does a lot more than I anticipated. Leech Seed is going to come out. It is going to target on my Arcanine slot, which, yeah, my opponent's definitely making the correct read so far. But now I go back into Arcanine. Not sure my opponent's going to Liquidation to Primarina again. I definitely could see it, which, you know, could be problematic, but Mimikyu could potentially beat Celesteela in the end game if I can get a Psych Up off. I'm going to Arcanine here. I get the Intimidate off, and I will go for a return into the Araquanid and finally pick up the knockout onto this Araquanid, unless it decides to Protect here. Hydro Vortex shouldn't be able to knock out Snorlax with the Intimidate that I have, and I should be able to get my Berry back, which is all really good. But let's see if it's a Liquidation going to go out into the Arcanine slot, which I could definitely see here. But definitely I think this is my best play, even if I have to sack Arcanine here. It's Poison Jab actually from the Araquanid, which is a move we don't commonly see. But that's probably better because my Snorlax doesn't take a Z move, and I get the return off into the Araquanid. So Araquanid going to be going down here, which is fantastic. And let's see, probably a Heavy Slam going to be targeting down one of my Pokemon. It's actually Flamethrower, probably trying to get the burn on Snorlax. Yep. So Flamethrower going to activate with the Leech Seed. That's going to activate my Berry, so potentially I could go for Recycle again if I do anticipate that. And I'm surprised how aggressive my opponent's been playing with this Celesteela. This Celesteela's been playing very aggressively, not protecting when Arcanine has been in the game. So maybe I could just Flare Blitz knock out the Celesteela here, which is definitely a potential option here. But let's see what my opponent is going to bring out. It's going to be the Arcanine from my opponent's side. So I do kind of just want to go for the return into Arcanine. And I think I actually just want to switch out my own Arcanine, to be honest, because getting reset would be nice. I could go into Primarina. How many turns are Trick Room left, though? So there's only one turn of Trick Room left, which is the annoying part. Yeah, but I think Primarina is just a safe play. And actually, I'd rather go for Recycle than return every single time. The only thing I could see like hurting me here is Celesteela switching out, going out into Garchomp here. But I do want to Recycle off it potentially. And yeah, my opponent was willing to allow me to knock out the Arcanine, but if I got rid of Arcanine, I could have been in a bad position if it was like Garchomp coming out. As my opponent goes for Leech Seed into that slot once again. And Flare Blitz is going to go out probably into the Snorlax slot, which is going to do a decent amount. Oh, that does a lot more. That is banded, it looks like. Okay. So I learned some good information here. It's banded on the Arcanine, so it doesn't carry Protect. That's why we haven't seen like a Protect at all, and we saw that aggressive switch. So that's a bit annoying, yet I don't feel like it's the end of the world for sure. I could probably just go for a Scald into the Arcanine. I don't really need Primarina in this game, I feel like, no matter who he has in the back. I would imagine Porygon 2 in the back, to be honest. I would imagine Porygon 2 in the back, because he didn't have a really good way to stop Pledges otherwise. I'll just Scald the Arcanine here. I could see a double up, but that gives me a free Recycle anyway, so I'll take the trade here. And then if Primarina goes down to a double attack, I can bring out Arcanine and threaten a double knockout potentially. So I'd rather go for this play no matter what. Let's see what my opponent goes for. Let's see what my opponent goes for. And luckily, I am hoping to get this free Recycle off, but we'll see here. Flare Blitz is going to come out. It's Choice Band. It looks like it's targeting my Snorlax once again. So I'll be... That does so much. Oh, I forgot I'm not intimidated. And he burns me. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's not good. Flamethrower is going to come out, but it's not going to be able to knock out my Snorlax. And I will be able to get a free Scald off. I mean, Snorlax isn't really too important, depending on who's in the back. If it's Porygon 2, I should just be able to win the game with Snorlax. Maybe the burn might hurt the factor of me being able to beat Porygon 1v1. But I will be able to get the Recycle off. and heal up to, you know, after the burn and Leech Seed. I mean, that burn is really annoying. It is really annoying, especially if it's a Garchomp in the back. I can't knock it out with Return now. So this game has gotten a bit tricky, but I guess it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I should have kept look on whether Primarina was faster Celesteal, but let's see what's coming out in the back. Garchomp could potentially be in the back, which would be scary, but it's actually Tapu Koko, which makes this game a whole lot easier in my opinion. That is so relieving to see, actually. I prefer seeing Tapu Koko because now I'm gonna go for a Scald and a Return in the Tapu Koko. Gleam plus Heavy Slam or Flamethrower should not be able to knock out Snorlax, and I'll be able to get a lot of damage. If Tapu Koko protects, that's fine. Celesteal can't pick up a knockout on its own. Thunderbolt's going to come out and target down my Snorlax slot, which isn't even going to be able to pick up the knockout, and Leech Seed is going to fail, so it looks like my opponent anticipated a switch, maybe to Arcanine once again. Scald is going to put the Tapu Koko in a Focus Sash range, but Return is going to be able to pick up the knockout onto Tapu Koko, and all I have to do is send out my Arcanine, so this worked out in my favor. Luckily it was Tapu Koko. I feel like Garchomp was 100% more scary, but luckily it wasn't Garchomp in the back. Surprised on Porygon too though. I guess I could have went to Pledger in this game because my opponent didn't actually have a good answer to Pledges, and Snorlax thanks to the Leech Seed, which is perfect here, because now I get to bring in my Arcanine and go for the Flare Blitz into Celesteela. Yeah, so I feel like the game was a bit interesting. I mean, now I'm kind of understanding why my opponent made the plays once I saw the item on the Arcanine, the Choice Band. But yeah, I'm not sure if I played this correctly, because the fact that Garchomp could have still potentially swept me. I mean, I still think I'd be able to get a +6 return off onto Garchomp. I mean, if I wasn't burned, I wouldn't have been too worried, because I should have been able to take the Earthquake plus Flamethrower Heavy Slam guaranteed with the no burn chip damage, but could have been scary. And also the fact with the burn, I couldn't knock out the Garchomp in one hit, which could have been potentially scary in the end game. But I will go for a Scald here in Flare Blitz, and that will be able to finish up this game. So good game to my opponent. And definitely the Celesteela shouldn't be able to win yet, because Flare Blitz will be able to pick up the knockout, because I am also Banded Arcanine. So Celesteela will be going down to the Banded Flare Blitz, and that's going to be a good game. So as my opponent DCs in the end there. Yeah, so I don't really mind how much I played. I mean, I'm kind of surprised the Poison Jab. I got lucky with the Poison Jab. If my opponent went for Liquidation, definitely. If my opponent didn't have Poison Jab, let's say Liquidation was his only attacking move, like most of Rockrunnets, or maybe it was like a Bug Bite. Poison Jab isn't very common on a Rockrunnet unless you see... I guess maybe it's like an Assault Vest set. Maybe you carry Poison Jab. Even the Assault Vest set, though, I don't think you run Poison Jab. I think you run Liquidation, Lunge, Leech Life / Bug Bite, and Mirror Coat. So I'm not exactly sure about Poison Jab. I guess it's for Tapu Bulu. That's the... or Tapu Fini, I guess. But Liquidation is just usually stronger against so many Pokemon in general. I think Liquidation is stronger than Poison Jab against Lele. Don't quote me on that. Or it's the same. Actually, no. Liquidation is more powerful, because isn't it double the power of Water type attacks before adding Stab? So yeah, it is stronger, because 160... then Stab would be 240. Yeah, it's definitely stronger than Poison Jab. But yeah, not much to say otherwise. We're gonna move on to our second game, and hopefully these games can be found quickly, because I gotta go to class soon. Actually, this is my lunch break currently. Well, like my in-between period between classes, and I rather record a video since none of my roommates were really here. I mean, you did see one walk pass. I wasn't actually expecting him to come, but yeah, rather record a video potentially. And of course, I do have to train for Hartford Regionals. There's a bunch of stuff I have to do. Train for Hartford Regionals, train for Florida Regionals, because I think I'm using 2 different teams. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I have to do. Pre-record videos for those events. I really want to continue daily uploads no matter what, so I'm trying to pre-record as much as I can. Even though like this week is a pretty bad week for me, because I have projects. I have, let's see, I have a project, I have a paper, and I have a hard statistics test, all in Well, actually, by the time you're watching this video, it should have been passed because it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm recording this on Monday. But yeah, it is a pretty rough week, and I hoped I got good grades on all of them. I especially need one in statistics. English literature, I can be okay with a decent grade of like a 90 or something. And then, well, actually the project and the test are on statistics. So yeah, I need really good grades on both of those. But enough about that. I think I'm going to cut it here till we find another battle. So we'll be right back till we find another opponent. Alright, we got our second opponent, Andrea from Italy, 1487 rating. I cannot find opponents today, jeez. Mimikyu, Persian, Tapu Koko, Crocodile, Marowak, and Ninetales. So this is really interesting. The Mimikyu is definitely interesting on this team, especially with nothing. There's no Snorlax on this team. That's what's interesting. Persian and Mimikyu are usually Pokemon that pair well with Snorlax, but we don't see a Snorlax on this team. Could be Trick Room, although I kind of doubt it because there's nothing that really abuses Trick Room other than Marowak, and usually you don't have Trick Room unless you have like 1 or 2 Pokemon that can abuse Trick Room, and Crocodile is pretty fast. Tapu Koko is definitely one of the fastest Pokemon in the game, so is Ninetales. Persian's definitely fast. I don't get it. Although I am very scared of Persian Tapu Koko lead, that is for sure. That's definitely a threatening lead if I've ever seen one. So I'm definitely going to have to play. This is definitely going to be a hard one, that's for sure. I think what I want to go is the pledge mode, because if I can get the pledges up, that would be great. I think Mimikyu is actually really solid in this game overall. Like regular Mimikyu, because I have Shadow Claw and Play Rough, so it hurts a lot on my opponent's team. I think I want to go Tapu Lele, because Tapu Lele, if I can get the pledges up, can do really well against my opponent's team. So let's see how this is going to go. I'm not exactly too sure of what to expect here. What's great here is I could probably get a free pledge, but the problem is if my opponent does have a random Trick Room Mimikyu on this team, could spell disaster, and I definitely do have to anticipate whether it's Trick Room or not. We can tell by a lead here, potentially, as Decidueye plus Primarina will lead, as it's going to be Persian Marowak. So at least it's not too bad here, because, okay, it's not too bad, yeah. Definitely not too bad. I can go for a U-turn here. I can also Shadow Ball, but the problem is probably my Decidueye is going to be attacked here, so I think the best play is just to U-turn here and Scald or Water Pledge, because I don't really need to burn anything on my opponent's team. I mean, there's something that really I need to burn, because Water Pledge should just be able to knock out almost anything except Ninetales and maybe Koko, but you know, a burn doesn't really help me against them, so I'll go for Pledge in case I can get Decidueye later in the game. I'm pretty sure Fake Out's going to come out in the Primarina anyway. Yep, like it should, and then the Shadow Bone is going to come either into Decidueye or Primarina, which makes things difficult. I really need to pay attention here, what's faster, the Primarina or the Marowak, because that could determine some outcomes in the game. So I bring out Mimikyu here. I sack the Disguise, which, you know, is a bit unfortunate, but I don't really, this team doesn't really have good switch-ins. Yeah, I am faster. Flare Blitz going to come out, actually, not Shadow Bone. So unfortunately you're not taking Recall, which is a bit of a shame, but I don't really mind this too much, as Disguise is going to break here. And yeah, okay, this isn't too bad now, because right now I could switch back out into Decidueye. Foul Play shouldn't be able to knock out Decidueye. Pretty sure my opponent's going to go for Parting Shot anyway. I mean, Specs Water Pledge should still be able to knock out Marowak, unless it's really, really bulky, but the fact that this is Primarina, it has a really high special attack stat for a starter. I think this should be able to KO, as the Marowak protects, which is okay here. Let's see what my opponent goes for. It's going to be that Parting Shot, so I get the Decidueye in because I think I'm going to need the Swamp eventually. So I think the Swamp is the correct play here. Let's see who's going to come in, though. Let's see. You can't go into Koko, because if you go into Koko, you have... Okay, so it's Ninetales coming out, which is a bit annoying because Aurora Veil is going to be set up here for sure. I'm wondering who I should target as I Water Pledge into the Protect. Maybe I should just Water Pledge the Ninetales, but I didn't want to risk a Shadow Bone into that Mimikyu slot. So let's see what my opponent is going to go for, but I think I could get a free pledge off here. I could also just go for a Shadow Ball Water Pledge to knock out the Marowak, which wouldn't be too bad, because Ninetales and Persian can't really hit Primarina that hard, so I feel like it's okay here just to Shadow Ball. Yeah, I don't see a reason not to Shadow Ball, actually. The only problem is if Persian decides to switch in on the Water Pledge with Shadow Ball combination, but Shadow Ball and Water Pledge will be able to knock out the Marowak. Yeah. So I do get the Shadow Ball off. This is going to target down the Marowak, as well as I get a Water Pledge off, which is good. Oh, Blizzard's actually going to come out, so it's no Aurora Veil. Okay. So that shouldn't knock out the Decidueye by any means. No, this is where Scald actually matters. Oh, come on. I lost a Pokemon for no reason. I lost a Pokemon for no reason. I got a free Water Pledge off. I was actually in a decent spot. That is dumb. That's me not clicking Scald. But I had the option to Pledge there, which is what I wanted. So that's why I didn't want to go for Scald. But now... that's so annoying. Okay, I go on a Mimikyu here. And I think I have to let Tapu Lele take some damage, or hope Primarina is able to... Oh man, that's... You don't know how frustrating that is. I'm gonna go for Shadow Claw again. And I think I'm just gonna Water Pledge, because I don't want Lele to take damage yet, when the fact is Lele can switch into the... Lele can switch into Tapu Koko. Blizzard's gonna come out. That Freeze is a dumb mechanic, people. Freeze is really a dumb mechanic. And I guess I should have predicted the Max Protect because it's kind of obvious. And I'm going to say Frozen. Yeah, I know I won't take too much damage from Blizzard with Tapu Lele, but the fact I really don't want to take damage if it's unnecessary. I guess I should have switched into Lele, huh? Actually, Lele, I think, would have been a fine play. I guess it depends on who he had, potentially. Man, that's so dumb. I think the only way I can win this now is getting a Trick Room up and knocking out Marowak this turn. Like, I actually have to unfall right here. Otherwise, yeah, I already let Mimikyu take too much damage. I think I should switch into Lele hard there. Blizzard's gonna come out. Primarina, please unfall. For the love of... Primarina. Oh, man. You are not my homie anymore. Mimikyu's gonna go down. And I think that's the game, to be honest. I think I'm just gonna forfeit. I really don't feel like playing this game anymore. I really don't. That is frustrating. That is frustrating. My Decidueye got knocked out for no reason. I get frozen for multiple turns. I have a chance to come back. Well, I also choked, but... Potentially choked, but I mean... Yeah. I potentially choked. But I mean, the fact that Freeze just stole the game. Yeah, I don't feel like playing. Besides, I don't think I can win. He just spams Blizzard, and then if he has Coco in the back, I lose. Like, no matter what he has in the back, I'm pretty sure he wins. Crocodile will outspeed both my Pokemon, able to get a Tectonic Rage off if it has it, or just a strong attack will be able to do a lot of damage. Combined with the Hail, the Blizzard, yeah, it just wasn't a good game. Just wasn't a good game for me. Yeah. That one turn, I think I should have, when Marowak protected, I should have just attacked the Ninetales, broken his potential Sash, and then went into Lele there. So I could have just threatened to knock out to Marowak with a Psychic the following turn, and Trick Roomed, because if I Trick Roomed, I'm pretty sure I outsped this entire team under Trick Room. So yeah, I probably could have done that, but man, I wouldn't have needed to do that if I didn't get frozen in the first place. I hate Blizzard. And yes, I could have Scalded. I know people are going to tell me, oh, you could have Scalded. What if I wanted to go for the Pledge? Because Pledge was a very viable option there. Like later in the game if I got Decidueye back in. And I didn't want to waste time by switching out Primarina once again. And we didn't even see Ninetales earlier in the game. Okay, we got Franz here for our third opponent with the Garchomp, Tapu Koko, Vanillux, the Aerodactyl, Kartana, and Arcanine. I don't know if Blizzard actually knocks me out. That's the question. Scarf Ice Cream. I don't know. Oh man, not knowing the damage calcs is really gonna hurt me. Not knowing the damage calcs is really gonna hurt me this game, because I actually don't know if we. Because I just don't know. I just don't know. Are we able to live a Blizzard or Freeze Dry from this Vanillux? Because Vanillux has a very high special attack stat compared to Ninetales. Ninetales is what? Weak. I know it's weak. It's like 90, I think, and then Vanillux is like what, 120 something or 125. Oh man. Decidueye, Primarina. I think Lele is good in the back in Arcanine. Like, Trick Room mode is pretty good here, but the problem is Aerodactyl is probably a Pokemon that could prevent my Trick Room, which is the annoying part. I also, well, if this isn't Scarf and LX, then it could be a bit of a more interesting game here. If we can't tell abilities either, which kind of stinks. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what kind of items my opponents host. Vanillix just tends to be Choice Scarf on most teams because of the fact it's, you know, just very powerful blizzards. I'm not even sure. It could knock out Kartana normally if it's like not invested. I don't remember. Aerodactyl Tapu Koko is gonna lead though, so I do not mind this like at all. Aerodactyl is not a Pokemon that usually carries Protect, so I can get a free pledge off most likely. And the fact is, even if my opponent gets Tailwind up, I'm in a really solid position no matter what. And Coco's not really a threat to the rest of my team. Aerodactyl can be a threat if it gets like a pledge off, so I'd rather get the pledge off here. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go for the pledge here into Aerodactyl. Probably my opponent was expecting, I'm guessing, the Trigger mode, which is why you lead this. No way, the one Aerodactyl that actually carries Protect. No! Aerodactyl is not a Pokemon that usually carries Protect. Oh, that is so bad. That is terrible for me. And I think that's the whole game. The one Protect Aerodactyl on Valspot. Actually, probably not the only Aerodactyl with Protect, but very rare. It is extremely rare. Because I was expecting Protect on Aerodactyl. There's a reason for that. And that's because most Aerodactyls don't tend to run Protect. Because Aerodactyl is a Pokemon that gets so many wide coverage options that they don't tend to run Protect. They just tend to run the Focus Sash. Yeah, that is pretty bad. Not gonna lie. I don't have pledges. This is not good. So I can go out into my Lele here, which is okay. I can fire off a Grass Pledge into the Aerodactyl and pick up a knockout on a Coco slot with Psychic. Skydrop could be a move. Definitely could be a move. At least the Tapu Koko really can't do much damage to the rest of my team, but still. Tailwind is going to be really bad here. Like, I have no way to stop a Tailwind, and I'm pretty sure he can Tailwind sweep me. So this game is looking pretty much over, unfortunately. Yeah. So I just gotta hope he doesn't go for it. Maybe he goes for Rock Slide, double misses. That would really help, to be honest. Well, even if he hits, as long as he doesn't flinch me, that's probably the best part I could ask for. Let's just see what my opponent's gonna do here. Let us see. Sky Drop. I'm pretty sure Tailwind's gonna come out though, so no Protect's coming out. Grass Play. Well, Aerodactyl protected last turn. Oh wow, that's not even a 2 KO. So my opponent goes for the Rock Slide, so maybe it gives me a chance. Let's see. How much? Okay, Gleam, Rock Slide. Okay. So Lele doesn't flinch, which is probably the ideal part, and I am able to pick up the knock on top of Coco. I'm pretty sure just Garchomp just wins though, to be honest. Even Vanillix could win at this point. Well, yeah, Vanillix can win next to Aerodactyl, since I'm not Barry on Arcanine. Let's see what he brings out here. I'm pretty sure Garchomp and then sweep me. Unless it's a random, really slow, like, min-speed Garchomp. That's the only way I could see myself winning. Yeah, Garchomp's gonna come out. And, yeah, I can't do anything. Okay, maybe... No, my opponent should have Tailwind, so I'm guessing that means no Taunt or Sky Drop or something. Okay, maybe... Well, Grass Pledge isn't going to 2-hit knock out Garchomp, so... I'll just Moonblast and Grass Pledge. I don't think there's a point because I don't feel like there's any way for me to win the game. Like, even if I crit the Garchomp Grass Pledge... Oh, wow. It looks like Grass Pledge was a roll on Aerodactyl from the start, and I got a low roll the first time and a high roll the second time. Rock Slide's going to pick up the knockout on Decidueye, and I'm pretty sure Garchomp should outspeed. Yep, just go for Earthquake. And that'll be game because Arcanine cannot win this game. So, not mad about this one. The fact that Protect on Aerodactyl made things a lot harder. Like, I lost turn 1. I was not expecting Protect. And, yeah. Pretty much it's a guessing game usually with pledges, like, you know, combination attacks such as, like, you know, Soak, for instance, like on Feeny, and then you have something that can abuse the Soak. It's kind of like 50-50s, because if you get it, off, it's really good, right? You can pick up a knockout, or you can get the speed control, in this case with pledges. But the fact is, if they have protect and you attack into protect, then it goes really downhill very fast. And this was one of the games where it really showcased it going really downhill really fast. So yeah, not much to say about this game. Like, I'm so mad about the second game, to be honest, but the third game was definitely fair. Kartana's going to come out, which is funny. I was going to flare this slot. Aerodactyl was going to protect. I'm just going to forfeit here because now you just switch into Garchomp, I guess. Because I can't Psychic Terrain. Well, I'm banned. I'm not sure my opponent knew my team. Nah. I mean, probably. I mean, most pledge teams, I think, would. If you're in my position, you go for the Aerodactyl, since Aerodactyl doesn't usually carry Protect. I honestly thought I was going to be in a good position, but once Aerodactyl revealed the clutch Protect there, that means you had to give up a move, though. I wonder what move it would have gave up. We saw Rock Slide, Protect. I doubt you give up Tailwind. I think Tailwind's kind of necessary on that team. So let's see, it wasn't Scarf Garchomp, so it was probably Scarf Vanillix. That's also good information, just in case I face my opponent in the future. And if I was going into Game 2, these would be my thought process. Probably Scarf Vanillix, you would have to assume. It's not Scarf Garchomp. Aerodactyl's Protect, that means it gives up either a Sky Drop, Taunt, potentially Wide Guard. I don't think you drop Tailwind at all. I think Tailwind's necessary on that team. Or maybe it doesn't have Sky Drop. Maybe you don't need Sky Drop on the team. Maybe it's Taunt, Tailwind, Rock Slide, Protect, or Rock Slide, Sky Drop, Tailwind, Protect. I could see one of those options being the thing. But going negative, and I think that's the first time in a while. But hope everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 17 Back-to-Back Battles. Definitely didn't play the greatest in today's episode, and I will definitely try to improve in the future. But anyway, hope you did enjoy. Please leave a like if you did to show your support. You can always check out the rest of my content down below, the side series, follow my social medias, follow me on Twitch for live streams, and also the fact that if you want to leave a comment or share the video with your friends, I really appreciate that. As well as, that's pretty much it. Have a good day, people, and I'll see you around next time.